Yes, people, it's your boy Benjamin. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. I'm back again with another video. Um, as usual, I have some notes and I have my cup of coffee. So, the topic of today is based on a thought that passed my head a few days ago. Um, and I'll read it out for you because when I have thoughts, I write them down. I suggest you do the same. But anyway, the thought was sometimes you have to detach yourself from your feelings in order to understand the root cause of your pain. I repeat, sometimes you have to detach yourself from your feelings in order to understand the root cause of your pain. Now, sometimes when we are consumed by our emotions, consumed by how we feel about a situation, it's hard to be objective. It's hard to fully grasp all of the facts. It's easy to get swayed to a particular direction of decision making when we are fueled by our current feelings. We've all been in a situation where we have made a decision solely based on how we feel in that moment. And we've all experienced the regret of that decision. A lot of us are consumed by the feeling of the pain rather than the actual pain itself. It's like, for me personally, when when you're getting a blood test, you're getting an injection, and you are hesitant to get the injection because of the anticipation of the feeling of the prick, and you are consumed by anxiety, fear, feeling sorry for yourself because of the pain that you're about to feel. But then when you finally do, receive that prick, it's like milliseconds. You know what I'm saying? Just pap pap, done. The nurse, before you even realize what's going on, the nurse is already wiping away the blood and patching you up, and you're like, oh, is that it? You know what I mean? It's a similar thing when we take the time to come out of our feelings and pay attention to the root cause of what has brought us pain in a situation, you know. And I feel like, I can speak for myself where I say there's been times when I've been too consumed by my emotions and the way I feel about a situation, and the feeling of either shame or guilt, or feeling betrayed, or feeling victimized, or all these numerous degree of emotions. And then when I detach myself from these emotions and I actually look at the problem at hand or the situation at hand with a more objective view, a more bird's eye view, I actually realized that a lot of these problems can be solved with small actions, you know. But there's been times in my past where I spent so much time in my emotions that they are stopping me from taking those actions. So, the amount of time that's used to take the action is way less than the amount of time that I've spent dwelling in the emotion. And this took me a while to realize, because I had to spend a lot of time taking responsibility for my part to play in every consequence I faced. I had to take the time to shift my perspective and stop playing the blame game. Even if I feel like part of me feels like, someone else had a part to play in the situation, yes, cool. That is an external variable that is out of my control. But the things that I can control is what put me in the position in the first place. What actions what part did I have to play in this situation to get here in the first place, to find myself and land in this situation? What could I have done differently? What could I have avoided? What could I have done? What could I have not avoided? What could I have tackled rather? Did I waste time? Could I have done this more efficiently? What can I learn? Was I too stuck in my ways? Was I ignorant of the facts? And sometimes, ignorance is okay, but ignorance can only be okay until the knowledge is acquired. Anything after that, once you've acquired the knowledge, it's no longer ignorance, it's on you. If you find yourself in a situation where a particular situation where someone has blindsided you, and you didn't expect it, you can no longer blame that person now if they blindside you again. It's on you now, you know what I mean? So, that saying, man, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, but fool me 3 times, I'm just a fool. I'm just a fool. This is not to say that you should avoid the chance that you may be fooled again. It's just be aware of everything. Never forget. I think that's where they get the forgive but don't forget. Forgive, but don't forget. Because if you forget, you're likely to find yourself in that situation again. It's too easy to live a blissful life, which is why they say ignorance is bliss. It's too easy to live a blissful life. But if you care about yourself and you want to survive in this world, ignorance is not bliss. Because your bliss is a product of someone else's functioning mind, if that makes sense. Sometimes you may think bliss is of your own creation, but I am skeptical enough to believe that bliss is the figment of someone else's creation. And in order for me to survive in this world, I want to live in a reality that I have designed, and that consists of controlling myself as this character in this world, and learning from my interactions with external variables. I'm sorry if I'm speaking in jargon, but this is just the best way for me to explain this, Detach from your emotions. As hard as it may sound, I'm not telling you not to feel them. I'm just telling you not to dwell on them. Don't dwell on the emotions, dwell more on the action that you need to take in order to rectify or change your situation, or avoid ever feeling those emotions again, and the more you work on yourself, the more you become your favorite problem solver, and then problems hold significantly less weight when you are solving them. It's just how I've learned to think over time. And I want to also add, I don't know if this is the right word to use, but a disclaimer that although I may sound like I have it all together, I really don't. Yeah, so don't ever feel like I am trying to school you. Everything I'm learning on the whim. I am learning, in the clutch, if that makes sense. I'm winging it. But the only difference is I spend enough time self-reflecting to grasp and take hold of the lessons that I'm learning as I'm going along. And that may be the only difference between me and you, and it's not something that you are incapable of doing. It just takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time in solitude and silence and introspection, and not everybody has the opportunity to be able to do that. So when I do come across these thoughts and these discoveries, I like to record them and share them, so they can be consumed by someone who may need them. Anyway, now that that's all out the way, I want to wish you all a great day. It's your boy, Benjamin, showing you some love. Peace.